Kentucky.
Thank you, Mr. Reichert, Congressman, colleague, and Sheriff, for this opportunity to support National Police Week, and more importantly, to thank you for your long career in law enforcement and your service. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I had the opportunity to meet with the families of fallen Kentucky State Troopers Eric Chrisman and Blake Tribby. Tomorrow, I will meet with the families of fallen Nicholasville, Kentucky police officer Burke Rhodes and fallen Richmond police officer Daniel Ellis. Each of these men died while doing his job to defend our communities and to keep our families safe. These families have been deprived of a loved one, endured tremendous pain, and made enormous sacrifices so that all of us can live with greater peace of mind. At a time when some are using the bad actions of a few to attack the dignity of the entire law enforcement profession, let the sacrifices of these men and their families remind us that uniformed officers are putting their lives on the line for our benefit every single day. We owe an enormous debt of gratitude to all law enforcement officers throughout this country, and especially to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. My wife Carol and I had the privilege and the honor of attending the memorial service for fallen Richmond, Kentucky police officer Daniel Ellis just a few months ago. The memorial service in the Eastern Kentucky University Alumni Coliseum was packed full of family and friends and colleagues on the Richmond police force, but even more impressively, brothers in blue from all over Kentucky and all over the country, packing in that Coliseum to pay tribute to this hero to our community. And Richmond Police Chief Larry Brock, who was eulogizing his colleague, addressed the crowd, and speaking of Ellis's valor and his kindness, he also expressed the heartbreak felt by all of Ellis's colleagues in blue. And this is what he said. As we left the hospital to escort Daniel to Frankfurt for the required medical exam, the skies opened up and it poured rain. It was as if the angels themselves were crying at the loss of this special young man, said Brock, his voice breaking. So I'd like to join all of my colleagues in welcoming the tens of thousands of people who have come across the country to our nation's capital in support of National Police Week. I especially want to thank Katie, the widow of Officer Ellis, and Officer Ellis's 3-year-old son, Luke. And in the words of the Gospel, John chapter 15, verse 13, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." And again, thank you, Congressman Reichert, for hosting this important special order to recognize the contributions and the sacrifices of police officers from across